Well, good morning, everyone. The current time is 12:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11:07 a.m. Central Standard, or 11:07 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 12:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, still, if you're in the Central Zone, it's 11 p.m., and if you're in the Eastern Zone, it's basically 12 a.m. So, different time change there. But that isn't going to stop the chance for severe weather as we go through the rest of late tonight and then through the overnight hours. It's looking like a pretty serious potential of severe weather for the Southern Valley weather area. Coming up in this video, I'm going to give you some updates on what the radar is looking like. We'll take a look at the latest warnings, and I will give you a timeline on when all this severe weather will occur. Now, right now, we're just seeing a lot of light to moderate rainfall. We've been seeing heavy rain throughout much of the evening hours, and it's been really, really wet. And so while you're out there driving, maybe some of the back roads of the county, or even as you head north toward I-75 to I-40 in a few of those counties, some of the back roads, that includes low spots, bridges, could actually be flooded right now. So just be careful, as you may be experiencing some isolated flash flooding and flooding of some streams and creeks, as well as the most popular flood-prone areas would be anyone that lives near an urban flood zone. Basically having a house closer to a river where there's low-level ground and there's really no hill to go that you could actually will block the water. So you just need to be careful, even with some of the heavy rainfall. It's causing some of the flash flooding and flood problems. So God, I need stuff. Anyway, let me go ahead and talk about the latest severe weather. Like I said, first I'm going to give you a latest radar track, and then we're going to go into the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, and then I'm going to show you my outlook contrary to the Storm Prediction Center of what to expect the rest of tonight. Now, right now, let's go ahead and see what's happening with our current radar here. And let me go ahead and pop up this radar. As you can see, we do have a lot of activity here in the form of showers, some very heavy rainfall, and most of it's really spotty with some heavier pockets of rain anywhere between Cherokee Center and Gadsden, Alabama, with a few scattered showers pushing its way on up in through I-75 corridor there, all the way up into central East Tennessee. Now, the good news is there's nothing severe here, but the bad news is the warm front has not made it yet to the northern parts of Alabama or Georgia, and I suspect as we go later into the overnight hours, we'll start seeing those showers start turning into quite a bit of thunderstorm activity, and a few of those thunderstorms could be severe. And again, I'll show you the latest risk on what to expect as we go into the overnight hours. Now, there is one little heavier concentration of a little bit of thunderstorm activity. This is over near Saudi Daisy, and actually now it just broke apart, but it was in Saudi Daisy. And now we have a couple of areas of thunderstorms that are starting to build within these showers, but other than that, that is just about it. Now, look at this warning box. There is a couple of tornado warnings, some severe thunderstorm warnings. So let's go ahead and get right down to the point here for Calhoun, Alabama, and Henry County, Alabama. There is a tornado warning here for this storm. And notice right now this tornado warning is issued for southeastern Henry County and northwestern Early County in southwestern Georgia, western Calhoun County in southwestern Georgia, as well as southwestern Clay and Randolph County. So This is a cell that's been tornado warned, a severe storm cell that's been tornado warned until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or midnight Central Standard Time, or actually until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and midnight Central Standard Time. And notice here some cities affected by this tornado will be Blakely, and the storm is moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. So look at this storm moving into Edison around 12:30 a.m. and they're saying Morgan County, Alabama, at around 12:35 a.m. So if you know anyone that's near these locations, other locations around this area might include Corner, Bluffton, Moy, Farrell, Crossroads, Early County Airport, Parksville, also Terman, Coleman, Comoke, as well as Randolph County. Airport, all under tornado warnings right now. This is at tornado warning currently until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, right now, there's that tornado warning cell, and as you can see, this line of showers and thunderstorms is pushing its way from southwest to northeast. So watch out around central, western Georgia, and into also parts of southeastern Tennessee later on, and that's as this warm front pushes its way a bit more northward. Now let's go ahead and switch sources here and give you the latest forecast call here from the Storm Prediction Center. And then I want to show you my outlook here in a few as well. Now, right now, as we are looking at the latest watches, there are no measles scale discussions right now. But earlier, there was a measles scale discussion involving western Georgia, and that was that tornado watch that was over in Alabama and western Georgia. That watch may be extended into far parts of northern Georgia and into South Tennessee. So we really need to be on the watch out for these storms, as they've been producing a lot of severe weather pretty much all day today over Louisiana and southern Alabama. Now here's a look at the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to look at both days here. We got day one and day two. First of all, day one, if you got family over in Alabama and Mississippi, still continuing a moderate risk of severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center hasn't changed that. So basically from Alabama to central Georgia, or to western central Georgia, that's where the best chance of severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center appears to be. So places like Montgomery, Mobile, Columbus, Dothan, Pensacola, Florida, Tallahassee, Albany, Georgia, Gulfport, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Valdosta, Georgia, all in an enhanced to moderate risk of severe weather, while the slight risk of severe thunderstorms will include New Orleans, Atlanta, Birmingham, Metairie, and Sandy Springs. Also, there is a marginal risk of severe weather, and that is for the rest of us, continuing through Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi, Huntsville, Alabama, Chattanooga, Tennessee, as well as Lafayette, Alabama. So that's where the risk of severe weather is set up at. Now, these storms are going to continue to move northward even as we go in through the overnight hours. But the question is just how much instability will be left over as these storms move more off to the north. But right now, it does appear that the supercell threat is still going to be there. A few isolated stronger storms may result into some damaging winds, as well as we can't rule out an isolated tornado as we go into the overnight hours. So when I'm saying overnight, I'm talking 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, and that is for northern Georgia, southeast Tennessee, and definitely getting into Atlanta. So the best thing you could do if you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, you might want to go ahead and go to a low interior room, such as a basement, because if it's a severe thunderstorm warning, the 9 times out of 10, who's to say that it is not producing a tornado anywhere? So go ahead and take precaution and go to a basement or interior room if a severe thunderstorm warning is issued for your area, because wind shear this strong can result in a tornado with some severe thunderstorms, as you've been seeing on the radar there. Now, also, just be advised that there are no watches for northern Georgia, severe weather-wise. However, we're still dealing with a flood threat, and so you want to still be careful as you go into the next few hours to the overnight hours here, as we're dealing with a lot of heavy rainfall and some also the possibility for severe weather over the next hour. So now, why am I saying severe weather is still possible? Well, let me go ahead and give you some ideas why, and then I'll go into my next slide. First of all, notice as I look at the current radar depiction here, the current map. Notice this warm front. The warm front is just now starting to get into northern Georgia in the next hour or two. So as it does so, this is why we're expecting severe weather during the overnight hours, because we have a very strong gradient, pressure gradient. It's causing a lot of wind blowing across much of Tennessee and northern Georgia and Alabama as predicted. And some of these wind speeds today have been tremendously blowing. The last gust I had earlier was 14 miles per hour, and that was from the south and southwest. But I assure you, as we go the next few hours, as that warm front pushes its way north, I am expecting to see these winds pick up and also the potential for severe weather pickup as well. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the National Weather Service come out with a tornado watch momentarily, at least over the next hour or so. So northern Alabama, northern Georgia, guys, we're not out of the woods. We're not out of the woods by a long shot. And so what you need to go ahead is get your preparedness ready for when storms do develop and tornado warnings become tornadoes become a very big issue as we go later into tonight, especially with any severe storms that become likely. So what I want to do now is I want to give you tornado safety tips. This is from the Storm Prediction Center here. Remember that if you're in a home, if you're in a house or basement, you want to go ahead and avoid windows. Get in the basement under some kind of sturdy protection, either a heavy table or workbench. Cover yourself with a mattress or sleeping bag, and know that heavy objects are going to hit your house as you take cover. So that may seem scary a little bit. Now, if you're in a house with no basement or dorm or no apartment, avoid the windows. Go to the lowest floor of a small interior room and under a stairwell. Make sure to stay there until the storm passes. And in an office or building or skyscraper, you want to directly go to a windowless room. And if you're in a mobile home, you want to get out. Even if your home is tied down, it is not safe as an underground shelter or permanent sturdy building. So you want to go to one of those shelters or to a nearby permanent structure using your tornado evacuation plan. Most tornadoes can destroy even tied down mobile homes, and it's best to not play the low odds that you will make it. So that is some mobile home safety issues. Remember that if you're in a car or truck, you do not want to outrun a tornado. If you're on the outside, you may want to get to a ditch or lie flat in a culvert with your hands protecting your head. And also make sure that if you're in a church or theater, do not panic. If possible, move quickly to an interior room, hallway, away from windows, and crouch face down to protect your head with your arms from flying debris. So that is basically some rules to give you just in case severe thunderstorms and tornadoes become an issue. And as you can see here, storms are now beginning to move into central parts of Georgia. We'll have to watch out there. Also northern Georgia as we go a little after 2 a.m. or so. That's when we should start seeing storms affect much of us as well. So southeast Tennessee, northern Georgia, our threat of severe weather is going to be a little close to 2 a.m., if not thereafter. We'll keep an eye on the latest updates and keep you informed of any warnings that are issued by the National Weather Service. And these warnings are going to be ever so quick. So remember that if you do see a tornado or if you hear a tornado, then obviously it's going to be too late to go ahead and try to take shelter. So make sure that before you hear a tornado, if you hear a tornado warning, 20 minutes prior to the storm, you want to go to a basement or interior room immediately while this tornado warning is issued, because you just never know how close or how far the severe weather that's causing the tornado may be. So, and remember that if you're ever put under a tornado watch tonight, like I do know some of us will be, remember that a tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms to produce tornadoes in and close to the watch area. So for now, that's all I have from the severe weather desk of Southern Valley. There is a flood watch, a flash flood watch through Wednesday for Georgia and northern counties in southeast Tennessee. Also a wind advisory for all of East Tennessee and northern Georgia through Wednesday as well.